Welcome to the second section of this lecture series, and today I'm discussing with you about classification of opioid analgesics. In the first part of this lecture series, we have seen the pain pathway and how transduction of pain impulse conduct take place from periphery to the brain. We have seen that one. We also seen the definition of opioid analgesics. So any kind of compound which binds with mu, kappa and delta receptor and interferes into the central pain transduction mechanism is known as opioid analgesics. And today we are seeing the classification of opioid analgesics. So these opioid analgesics, they are classified in three categories. The first is narcotic agonist, second is narcotic antagonist, and third one is a narcotic agonist and antagonist. You may be surprised at what do you mean, what is the meaning of agonist and antagonist, isn't it? Whatever the drugs till the date you have studied, either they are agonist or they are the antagonist, but you never had ever hear about agonist and antagonist. But especially in opioid analgesic class, you'll find such kind of category. I'll explain you that how these three classes were discovered. So they are trying to synthesize the derivative of morphine, okay, but rather than getting agonistic activity, उन्हें क्या मिला, एंटागोनिस्ट मिला. बनाना चाहते थे मॉर्फिन के एगोनिस्ट, लेकिन क्या बना, एंटागोनिस्ट. इसलिए उन्होंने इस क्लास का नाम क्या दिया, नार्कोटिक एंटागोनिस्ट. Okay, examples are naloxone and naltrexone. In the same way, वो बनाना चाहते थे मॉर्फिन के एगोनिस्ट, लेकिन बन गए एगोनिस्ट and antagonist. It means that nalorphine is such kind of compound or pentazocine is such kind of compound which acts as agonist at mu receptor, and at kappa and delta it is acting as antagonist. आपको पता है ये तीन रिसेप्टर से बाइंड करता है, म्यू, कप्पा एंड डेल्टा. सो एट म्यू रिसेप्टर पेंटाजोसिन में बी द एगोनिस्ट एंड एट कप्पा एंड डेल्टा इट इज एक्टिंग एज एंटागोनिस्ट. इसलिए इस क्लास का नाम दिया गया एगोनिस्ट एंड एंटागोनिस्ट. सो we'll be seeing in detail about each and every classes in detail. Hope that you have understood this classification. So this I'm revising again. This chapter is classified as a narcotic agonist, narcotic antagonist, and narcotic agonist and antagonist. As such, in therapy, we are not using agonist and antagonist. Okay, because you'll be getting two kinds of effect. At one receptor, you are getting agonist activity, and on the remaining two receptor, you are getting antagonistic activity, isn't it? So as such, we are not using agonist and antagonist, but of course we are using narcotic antagonist. You know very well that people, they are addicted to the morphine, isn't it? Okay, and overdosing of morphine results into the coma, isn't it? So just to reverse the effect of morphine, we are giving the narcotic antagonist, and examples are naloxone and naltrexone. Okay, now in detail we'll see the narcotic agonist first, that is morphine and its derivatives. I am discussing with you right now the first class, morphine and its derivatives. So before directly touching to the morphine and its derivatives, first I'll tell you in brief about the from which plant morphine is obtained. So morphine, it is obtained from the Papaver somniferum. The name of that plant is Papaver somniferum, and one of the main chemical constituent is morphine. Why the name morphine is given? Because this word is derived from Greek word Morpheus. Morpheus means, as per the Greek mythology, Morpheus is the goddess of dream. So of course when people, they took morphine, okay, they enters into the heaven, or they enters into the dreamy world. Okay, hallucination is one of the common effect after taking morphine, and hence the name is given morphine to the chemical constituent which is obtained from Papaver somniferum. So Papaver somniferum का जो प्लांट की जो पॉपी होता है, दिस कॉल्ड एज पॉपी, and we are taking the juice of this poppy, and this juice, from the juice we are getting three kinds of chemical constituent. Okay, two kinds of chemical constituent, one which contain the phenanthrene ring. You can see that here phenanthrene ring is present. Okay, this somewhat external structure is similar to phenanthrene ring. So phenanthrene ring containing कितने compounds हमें मिलते हैं Papaver somniferum से? So first is a morphine, second is a codeine, and third one is a thebaine. इन द सेम वे उसमें और एक केमिकल हमें मिलता है विच कंटेन्स द आइसोक्विनोलिन रिंग. ओके, so isoquinoline ring containing two compounds were observed into the Papaver somniferum, that is a papaverine and nascopin. And as such this chapter is narcotic analgesic, so we are most bothered about morphine, codeine and thebaine, and we are least bothered about papaverine and nascopin. Okay, so this is in brief about the morphine and from which plant it is obtained and what is its chemical constituent. Okay, and I already explained you that this morphine binds with 3 receptor, that is mu, kappa and delta, isn't it? Now people they also studied the binding of morphine to the mu, kappa and delta. So when they studied the binding of morphine to the mu, kappa and delta receptor, they came to know that whole part is not responsible for producing pharmacological effect, for binding or for eliciting any kind of pharmacology effect. This phenyl ring, you can see that this phenyl ring, okay, this asymmetric carbon atom, this 2 ethylene carbon and nitrogen is essential, and remaining part is not essential. A question may arise in your mind that how this positive charge appears over here. So when somebody takes morphine, inside the body fluid, this nitrogen get cauterized, isn't it? That's why the positive charge is there. Now I'll show you that how this morphine binds with mu, kappa, delta receptor. So via this phenyl ring, it is binding with flat portion which is available on the receptor. Okay, via this ethyl linkage, it is binding to the cavity which is available on the receptor, and via this nitrogen, you can see that positive charge is there. Via this positively charged nitrogen, it is binding with anionic site of the receptor. So after studying a pharmacophore, scientists came to know that remaining part of the structure is not essential. Only this much, that is phenyl, asymmetric carbon atom, ethyl linkage and nitrogen is essential. So this is a basic pharmacophore which is present in the morphine. So जब भी कोई नया ड्रग मॉलिक्यूल डिस्कवर होता है, लीड मॉलिक्यूल डिस्कवर होता है, तो फर्स्ट वी आर स्टडिंग ईच एंड एवरीथिंग ऑफ दैट वन. ओके, एंड लेटर वी आर मॉडिफाइंग दैट वन. दैट्स वाई वी आर स्टडिंग दैट मॉर्फिन कौन से प्लांट से ऑब्टेन होता है. पॉपी से जूस मिलता है. इट कंटेन्स 2 kind of chemical constituent, which contain the phenanthrene ring, and another chemical nascopin they contain the isoquinoline type of the ring. Okay, and we also studied the basic of morphine, that how it is binding with receptor. Okay, now here I'll show you the mode of action of morphine. So assume that this is a periphery, and from periphery the impulse of pain is coming toward the brain likewise. Okay, so इसके 2 mode of action possible है, and I'll explain both mode of action to you. Okay, so just assume that pain signal is coming from the periphery. Okay, likewise. So ये जो न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर यहाँ पर अवेलेबल है इस नर्व्स के अंदर, it needs to be ruptured, and this ruptured vesicle releases a neurotransmitter, and this neurotransmitter then binds with the another neurons over here, isn't it? And in this way signal goes toward the brain, isn't it? लेकिन यहाँ पर जो न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर है, इनकी रप्चरिंग के लिए एंट्री ऑफ कैल्शियम इज रिक्वायर्ड. यू नो वेरी वेल दैट द फर्स्ट मोड ऑफ एक्शन इज दैट कैल्शियम जब भी न्यूरॉन्स के अंदर आता है तो इट कॉजेज अ डीपोलराइजेशन. कैल्शियम जब अंदर आएगा ऑफ कोर्स, सो उसके वजह से क्या होगा, व्हाट एवर द वेसिकल विच आर प्रेजेंट इनसाइड दिस न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर, दे विल रप्चर, एंड रप्चरिंग रिजल्ट इनटू द रिलीज ऑफ न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर, isn't it? Okay, and another hypothesis is that this ATP convert into the cyclic AMP with the help of the adenylyl cyclase enzyme, and other hypothesis says that the cyclic AMP is also essential for the rupturing of vesicle. Okay, so you have understood the 2 mechanisms. Okay, first mechanism says that calcium, entry of calcium. Okay, and second is that saying that cyclic AMP, and overall you can say that entry of calcium as well as cyclic AMP both are essential for rupturing of vesicles of neurotransmitter, isn't it? Okay, now actually what opioids they are doing, by binding with mu, kappa and delta receptor, these opioids they blocks the entry of calcium. अगर calcium अंदर नहीं आएगा, okay, and they also opens the potassium channel. Because of that what happens that calcium अंदर नहीं आएगा और अंदर से जो potassium it is going outside, and hence hyperpolarization is going to take place. So this is the first mechanism of action of opioid which is possible. What is that one? It inhibits the entry of calcium as well as it opens the potassium channel, and hence this neuron terminal undergoes to the hyperpolarization. Of course calcium जब बाहर से अंदर नहीं आएगा और अंदर का पोटेशियम बाहर चला जाएगा, so inside chloride ions will be there, and this chloride ions causes the hyperpolarization. And you know very well that hyperpolarizations induces the inactivation of neuron. Second जो mechanism of action जो possible है कि this opioids also inhibit the adrenal cyclase. If there will not be adrenal cyclase, there will not be cyclic MP. If there will not be cyclic MP, so there will not be bursting of vesicles, and there will not be release of neurotransmitter. In this way, this signal collapse over here. Okay. So hope that you have understood the mode of action of this morphine. Now we are seeing the what kind of derivatives people they have synthesized of morphine. So this is a morphine. It is quite difficult to understand the structure of morphine, but here I'll show you the trick. So this is a phenanthrene ring. You can see that this phenanthrene ring. Okay, this is a cyclic ether. Okay, and this is our CH2, CH3, and CS3. CH2, CH2, and CS3. This additional group. Okay, CH2, CH2, and CS3. Okay, and this bridge is connected with this middle cyclohexane ring, CH2, CH2, and CS3. Okay, and here you have to remember OH, OH. So just first draw the phenanthrene ring. How to draw a phenanthrene? Like this phenyl, cyclohexane, and this another cyclohexane. So this structure almost resembles phenanthrene. Then connects first this carbon with this carbon via this ethyl linkage. Amino ethyl linkage, I can say that, and this is a cyclic ether. So in this way you can remember the structure of morphine. So first derivative which people they have synthesized from morphine is a codeine. So you can see that what is different, only methoxy group is there, hydroxy group is replaced with methoxy, and this compound is called as a codeine. The codeine is more potent as compared to the morphine. Okay, later people they also synthesize diacetyl derivatives. Okay, here you can see that two hydroxy groups are there, and here they replace both the hydroxy group with that of the diacetyl derivatives, and hence the new derivatives is called as heroine. And what is heroine? It is a diacetyl derivatives of morphine, and it is much more, I think that 300 times more potent as compared to morphine. Okay, and we are not studying the dextromethorphan, it is not in your syllabus. So I have discussed with you three structure. The first is morphine, and second is a codeine, and third one is a heroine. Okay, so these are the morphine and its derivatives. In my next part 3, I'll discuss with you about the SAR of structure-active relationship of morphine. That means how the new compounds were derived from the morphine. I hope that you understood the first class, that is morphine and its derivatives. And thank you for listening this lecture. This segment I can say that, and I'll discuss in detail about SAR in part 3. Thank you.